Hey everybody, it's John with National Sports Entertainment, and I wanted to go into the games. I already went into them last night, but as I said, I was exhausted, so I want to make sure I just go over the sequences again and why I like the teams I do. I know people want basketball, so we're going to look into some basketball games, and I did want to go into the narrative of Russ. As you know, I suggested it as a leg four of the Lakers' loss because I just did not see them losing this game. So I might have overthought it a little bit. I had like a bunch of specific things happening, and Russ getting maybe to the 300 touchdowns, all these different things. But what is interesting, and other people were pointing that out too. But basically, what happened was the hometown hero won, and I had pointed out he is loved in England. He's loved in London. He's loved in the UK. They know Russell Wilson. If you watched this game, it was a sea of orange. The announcers tried to say how it was split, how it was like half Broncos fans, half Jet. There wasn't. There were nothing but number threes in the audience. And like I said in my last video, leading up to this game, the way he was talking about it was different than when he loses. He wasn't acting serious. He was acting like he just knew. It wasn't like, oh, we got to get it together, me and coach, we got to get on the same page. He was laughing, saying that they're watching movies. They were making a joke of him. They made him a walking meme, literally, for a week. It was quite obvious to me he was going to come through in London as the face. They're not going to have. That's why the Dolphins win there all the time. The favorite team among Londoners is the Dolphins, followed by, I think it's the Cowboys, but they love the Dolphins. So the Dolphins usually win there. So Russell's not going to lose it. They're trying to appeal to this base. It's like taking Stone Cold to Saudi Arabia and having him lose. I don't care if it's the best up-and-comer. You can Kevin Owens, whoever you think that is, Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns. Doesn't matter. They're going to have Stone Cold win every time because that's what people want. They want the nostalgia. So this one was nice. It was very rigged, you could tell. Maybe, someone pointed out to me also how the quarters are interesting, and they will be. Somebody will score at a very interesting time in the quarter to make a team win that quarter. But so we got that one squashed out, and the ones that we do still have open, we don't have that many open, but we do have a few because we picked last night. So of all the ones that I picked, the one I have the most trepidation on is the New York Jets, simply because I don't know why it's a 2.5 point spread. I bought a 0.5 point. I feel like the Jets should be a much better team than the Patriots. If I wrote plus, then I meant minus. Let me see. Again, that's why I'm doing this video, because last night I was tired, so I want to make sure. Oh, they are plus. Okay, I was right. So, to me that seems like a trap if I've ever seen one. But I've noticed playing the narratives often beats playing the traps. And the narrative is, hey, my next video will be out in precisely 14 minutes. I'm just kidding. Just however long it takes to upload. But yeah, I figured people would want me to go over that game and these ones. But so the Jets, getting 3 points makes no sense to me. It's the reason I took the Seahawks, because that game makes no sense. But again, I think the Jets is more of a narrative. Starting Bill Belichick off 3-5 like Brady, starting him off where it's his worst season in X amount of years. I think they said something about if they lose at New York or something, it'll be the first time they've lost consecutive since 2001. All these since 2001 things are coming up, and for that reason, I took the Jets. But I can understand people thinking it's a trap, but I'm just going to end. I think they're going to want to push Wilson as a premier quarterback and have him win over Mac Jones or whoever starts to the Patriots. So that's the reason I took the Jets. The Colts over, I went with that because, again, the Colts they've gone over like once all year. Those things tend to balance out. They don't always, but they do. So that one I'm still liking, as I am the Cardinals 3.5. The more I think about it, those divisions need to be closer, both of them. So it fits the narrative and it fits the trap metric. So it fits all the metrics, that Cardinals game. So I feel confident on that one. And Carolina is kind of the same thing. It keeps the division close where you can say, oh, anybody can win this division because it's so competitive, when really it just sucks, you know. Now I'm looking at other games and I don't see anything that jumps off the page at me. What I can say is, you know how I like the Raiders because the Vegas has them suspiciously high on the Super Bowl list. I don't want to just pick the Lions because it looks like a trap. I don't want to fall into that trap, no pun intended, because it is odd. What I am going to do... Actually, I'm not. I was looking at the Titans-Texans, but again, the AFC South, I honestly think that division, those games come down to live betting because it's just such an odd one. So yeah, I don't have any new ones that jump out at me. Like I said, we already have a lot in action, but we will look at the NBA. And there are a couple that I was looking at and I like for the NBA. So, you know my metric. We're going Lakers. That's going to be a first sequence. It might be a second sequence if we need it. They are not starting against the spread. And they might lose we might make it a first sequence because they might start 0-6 against the spread. Because 0-6, Bill Russell, all that stuff. So, I could see that, but they're going to get it by like the 7th or 8th. So, I definitely like them, and as I do the Clippers. Clippers for a very similar reason, and because I think it's going to be similar to when the Pelicans play the Suns. A lot of people might be saying, okay, the Pelicans are a feisty team, but I think it's really just a chance for the Clippers to showboat. They're good players. They need a big win, too, to be taken seriously in the West. So I think Clippers cover. I'll be playing that. Actually, I'll pick that one right now. And I do like the Lakers. So maybe if the Clippers don't win, we take the Lakers on leg 2. Something like that. 3. I'm going to buy it down to 2 just because I sometimes I get these gut feelings, and you never know. This kind of game, you never know. I think they'll blow them out, but if they don't, then it's definitely going to be like a 2-point game. And then the other one that stuck out to me is the Mavs. They always have, as much as I like Paolo, and I think they're going to have him look good, it's clear the Magic aren't looking great this year. But I like the fact that the Mavs at home, again, they have a great energized base. They lost their last game. So I think the game they win, which will be tonight, is not going to be a 2-point win. I think they're going to get, again, it's the same logic as last night. We'll just keep it where it's at. It's the same logic as last night, where essentially, I think because at home they like to get Finney-Smith going, they like to get Bullock on, they like to get Kleba on, and we'll know for sure. Again, if Luka's shooting threes and not getting to the line, then it's probably going to be a tough cover. That's if you're live betting, just so you know. It's just, to me, some alpha on Luka. If he is taking smart threes and you can just see he's controlling the ball a little differently, a little more penetration, that's usually when they get their runaways. Again, he decides when they score, but he also decides when they don't. And so we don't want too many going at a time. But that's essentially who jumped out to me for the NBA. I do like the Clippers to cover that spread, as I do the Mavericks. And the Lakers, we're going to be rolling with them later, most likely. And I'll have another video out because I'll be doing the later games. And now that I think about it, it's 1 o'clock, so it's as good a time as any to go into, again, the 4 o'clocks, why I like them. So what I like about the 4 o'clocks is, again, the reason I like, and these will be, we'll wait to see how the ones finish before opening these, but the reason I like the Seahawks, I had explained to you, 3.5 points 3 points doesn't make sense to me. The Giants should not be an underdog here. I don't care if it's in Seattle. It just seems like, an excuse to keep the division close and keep the NFC East close. Because if the Giants can't run away with the Eagles, you need the Cowboys and the Commanders in there. For that same logic, I have the Commanders winning. I think they go to 4-4. They play the Eagles on prime time in a week or two. To me, it makes perfect sense that they're going to have the Commanders at least somewhat of a threat going into that game, which they very well might spoil. So I like the Commanders a lot, the +3. I took the Seahawks -3.5. And the Rams, I think they will win because they want to show people that, A, McCaffrey isn't going, he's not the difference maker. And B, it's still, quote, the Rams division. They want people to know that it's the Rams division and the Niners are the X factor. When really it's going to be swapped. And I had the Niners winning both of these season games, but as a curveball. But then I thought, you know what? I think the Rams hold serve. It makes any playoff match more enticing, and it just makes sense. So that's really all I got. I want to get this out in time for you guys, but those are my 4 o'clock picks. We'll have a video going over the night games, and if there's any late basketball games that I think of, I'll cover them as well. And that's really it. All I really have is the next baseball game. I'm taking the Astros again. I think that's tomorrow, so we'll go into that. But I just wanted to get everything while I could. But good job on the Broncos win. Happy earnings. Take care, and let's ride.